Hello and welcome, dear friends, to another edition of Umuntu, an economic development program devoted to free ideas for promoting fairness and human well-being in Malawi. The role of political leaders and ordinary citizens, how Malawi can get a foothold on the development ladder, and what holds back development progress in Malawi are some of the questions we tackle in this program. Our topic in today's edition is about President Chakwera's economic strategy. This topic is a reaction to Chakwera's speech on May 23 at the Malawi Investment Summit in Lilongwe. I'm your host, Crispin Dambula. Stay tuned. There is no question about the economic status of our country at present. We are struggling and there is no sign of things turning around. Who is to blame? Well, it is the responsibility of every Malawian to do something to improve their own well-being. But there are certain key things called development catalysts that require government intervention, such as health services, markets, energy supply, transportation, security, and education. Many Malawians work hard to provide for their families. They do things like informal small businesses, small-scale commercial farming, mining, and other commercial activities which do not yield enough returns due to lack of markets, reliable energy, transportation, security, and other related development catalysts. That is where the government is needed to provide the services that expedite commercial activities to enable hard-working Malawians to realize their deserved returns. If the living standards of ordinary Malawians continue to degenerate despite their work ethic, the government is partly to blame. I want to shift our attention to President Chakwera's speech at the Malawi Investment Summit on May 23. He appealed for investment in agriculture, tourism, and mining to boost Malawi's economy. He added that economy is the top priority for his administration, which means empowering and enabling the private sector with the goal of making Malawi the best partner for business and investment. This was the key part of his speech. Investing in agriculture, tourism, and mining seems to be our president's understanding of the private sector. According to the speech, investing in these areas will empower and enable the private sector. Really? What exactly is he saying here? In the next part of this discussion, I'll tease out this speech to examine Chakwera's economic strategy. Tourism has never been Malawi's top forex earner, and investing in tourism would only be a Pyrrhic victory. Agriculture is the backbone of Malawi's economy, and mining seems to have potential as it earned $90.3 million for Malawi in 2021. While agriculture is key, raw tobacco remains our major export. It brought home $437 million in 2021. But with the World Health Organization's campaign against tobacco, we need to switch focus to avoid oligopsony. For those unfamiliar with oligopsony, it is an economic condition in which a small number of buyers exert control over the market price of a commodity. You can see that the profit we earn from tobacco exports is usually insignificant. Perhaps intensifying production of legumes like soybeans could be a good deal. Soybeans brought home $69 million in 2021. However, while investing in agriculture and mining is important, what we also need to do to bolster the private sector is to invest in manufacturing. We experience trade deficit every year, mostly because of manufactured imports. In 2021 alone, we spent $3.4 billion on imported goods and services and gained only $1.1 billion from exports. That means we had a trade deficit of $2.3 billion. And surprisingly, out of the $3.4 billion we spent on imports, $2.36 billion was spent on manufactured goods. It seems evident that investing in local manufacturing could significantly reduce imports and might lead to favorable trade balance. With local manufacturing, we can process our own agricultural and mining products. That means jobs for Malawians and more revenue for the government. Chakwera's strategy, which does not go beyond investing in agriculture, tourism, and mining, is not a recipe for private sector enhancement. This strategy limits our country to a producer of raw materials for other countries. But investing in local manufacturing seems to be a viable strategy for growing Malawi's economy. And now we've come to the end of our program today. Before we go, we have a question for you. What is your assessment of Chakwera's economic strategy? Post your comments on msika.tech, msika.tech. Thank you for being with us today. Be there again next week when we shall bring you another edition of Umuntu. Bye for now.